Hey guys, 80s Revolution back here with you with another end of the week pickups video. This is a showcase of everything that I've picked up this week or since the last update. We've got Blu-rays, we've got one DVD, and we have some horror pops. This is all from Best Buy, FYE, and Savers. One thrift store pickup, which I really actually like, and I'm happy that I found. Later this week, today's Monday when you're seeing this, later this week, I'm going to continue on with the 80s Toy Room Collection tour, going back to focusing on the wrestling figures. We're going to be taking a look at the WWF Hasbro figures from 1990. Some of the WCW or NWA wrestling figures from a toy company called Galoob. And then, of course, we will cap it all off with the main event, the steel cage match, the LJN Wrestling Superstars, of course, from the World Wrestling Federation. Okay, so tonight, pickups. And for the first time in a while, I actually spent full price or paid full price for some movies. And two of them are actually new releases. New old releases, but new releases and full price. I paid actually paid $26 or $28.99 for one of these. And it's just one movie. That's something I don't do. But first, Best Buy on Tuesday last had the Karate Kid Steelbook. It looks like Best Buy is really expanding the Steelbook market. They have a couple of sections of Steelbooks, and it looks like they're just kind of putting out relatively random movies, putting them in a Steelbook, and this was only $14.99. Honestly, I'm not going to be a Steelbook over-the-top collector. I don't really see I don't know if there's a collectible value later on, but I don't really see myself going over the top and paying $14.99 or $19.99 versus this Karate Kid, which could have been $7.99 on its own, or cheaper at a pawn shop or something. But it was there, and they didn't have the non-Steelbook version of the Karate Kid, and this is a must-have, of course. So I grabbed the Karate Kid Steelbook for all of $14.99. I'll be losing this little thing here. Interesting to note that there are no good guys on the cover. You don't have Miyagi or Daniel-san. You have the Cobra Kai fellas adorning the cover of the Steelbook. And on the back, you've got the Cobra Kai logo. So I don't know if this is the heel version of Steelbook, and then maybe Best Buy will capitalize with the good guys version. But this is obviously a classic 80s movie. Doesn't need much. I don't need to talk about much. Nothing going on inside. No inside artwork on the Steelbook. Kind of just a random insert. And we're not really looking at any special features. Let's see. Blu-ray. Something that I can't stand. Something called Blue Pop, which is kind of like, I'm sure, like the old VH1 pop-up video where they would just randomly put facts about the movie and production on the screen while you're watching the movie. I will never watch those types of things. Those things drive me nuts. I don't want to read facts while I'm trying to watch the movie. I didn't like pop-up video when it was coming on. I think it was in the 90s. But it has the Blue Pop, which you can activate to reveal pop-up trivia, interviews, and more secrets from the film. Commentary with director John Avildsen, and Ralph Macchio and Pat Morita. The Way of the Karate Kid, multi-part making of featurette. That actually sounds pretty interesting. Beyond the Form featurette, East Meets West, A Composer's Notebook, and Life of Bonsai. So, classic must-have Karate Kid Steelbook. The other new old release that I picked up was the Platinum Anniversary edition of It's a Wonderful Life. This comes in with both black and white and color versions, and also includes the art cards that I enjoy, not collecting, but I enjoy having. It's a Wonderful Life is a wonderful movie. I'm embarrassed to say, but I'm willing to share with you that I saw this for the first time 2 Christmases ago. Never saw it. I was too busy watching Christmas Story and Christmas Vacation, but I watched It's a Wonderful Life and obviously, you know, fell into the fanfare and fell in love with the movie. Jimmy Stewart is really, really wonderful in this movie. Really a must-see holiday movie. I'm going to open it up here and take a look at the art cards for you. So, grab this. Best Buy is obviously putting out their Christmas movies now, and so, yeah, here they are. They're actually in paper. There's 7 of them in there. Pretty good stuff. Jimmy Stewart, at his finest, voted the #1 most inspiring film of all time by the American Film Institute. Really is great. A lot of, if you haven't seen Jimmy Stewart's younger acting, man, you gotta wonder like how much of his work was, you know, scripted or improv. I mean, he is so, you cannot script Jimmy Stewart, you know, in this movie especially. He, you know, facial features or facial expressions, some of his stutters really added to his character. And obviously, you're not going to script a stutter or a facial expression. He, you know, he pretty much, you know, owned his character in this movie, and it's a fantastic movie, and he's a fantastic actor. With too little time on my hand and too much extra money, like that's a thing. I went to Best Buy one day, kind of splurged, and picked up some, hang on, what is that? It's nothing, sorry. Picked up something that I've had my eye on for a while, something that's been $49.99 for a while, but like I said, I was there one night, had a few cocktails, pulled the trigger, got the Halloween box set, all 10 films. 10 films, 10 discs, bunch of extras, bunch of special features, bunch of making ofs and documentaries. I've said in previous videos, not my favorite horror franchise. Halloween 1 and 2 are great. I've actually never seen part 3, and I've seen some of the later ones. They didn't do a whole lot for me, but this can't go unpurchased. You know, this cannot not be a part of my collection. So I'm going to watch all of these, even the ones that have less fanfare. The Rob Zombie ones I'm going to watch. Obviously H2O and Resurrection I'm going to watch through. So I'm going to watch through this whole set and hopefully start developing some more love for Halloween, but definitely glad to add this to the collection. And the final over-the-top high price or full price purchase, I had to have this movie. I had it on DVD, a not so legit copy with a not so legit case and cover and artwork, and when it started getting released as part of the Vestron Video Collector Series, I had it in my eBay watch list, of course, saw it at Best Buy and had to pick it up. It's a good old 80s slasher, Chopping Mall. This has been reviewed a ton on YouTube since it's come out a few months ago. This is #1 in the Vestron Video collection. If you're not aware, look up Vestron Video. It was a company in the 80s that produced horror videos and had a very, very prominent and sort of burned in your memory intro. You know, their logo coming up on the screen as Chopping Mall, or what else? What else did Vestron Video do? Puppet Master, I think. But anyway, you'd come up, you'd see that big V. That Vestron Video would flash across the screen, and you know that you had yourselves a cheap 80s slasher horror movie on your hands. So I grabbed Chopping Mall. I love horror movies in malls. Obviously, especially from the 80s, you go back and you just see that 80s charm of a shopping mall. This is a little bit unique. This is not your average or your typical axe welding, maniac. The killers in this movie are actually robots. The mall comes up with a new security plan that involves robots. And, of course, kids, take over the mall one night. I worked in the mall when I was a kid, and nobody ever partied in the mall after it was closed. That never happened. But I guess it did in 80s slasher film. So, of course, you've got some oversexed teenagers partying in the mall, and somehow or another, the robots turn bad. And the mall is being infiltrated by teenagers, and so the security guard robots have to take care of business. I will probably continue getting the full-priced Vestron releases. It's not something that I can really pass up, obviously. So, Chopping Mall added to the collection. Okay, these are also from Best Buy, but these are from the $5.99 or $7.99 dump bin. We'll go through these relatively quickly. Added to my Jason Statham collection with the following. I picked up War with Statham and Jet Li. Absolutely love this guy. Love Jason Statham. Granted, his movies are pretty cookie cutter and very much the same, but I just can't get enough of this guy. I love him. I'll watch all of his stuff over and over again. Like I've said in previous videos, I remember, going over my dad's house for the weekend, and we would go to Blockbuster, and we would always rent a Steven Seagal movie or a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie. And, Jason Statham is kind of like my modern day Steven Seagal. So, got War. I got Expendables 3, which is really, these Expendables series are extremely over the top. I mean, more over the top than your average over the top, suspended in midair, kicking 3 or 4 enemies at the same time kind of stuff. But how could you not love this wonderful all-star action-packed cast? From Stallone to Statham to Dolph Lundgren to Randy Couture from the UFC is in this. I mean, really great stuff. Ronda Rousey is in here. Cool stuff. For some reason, Kelsey Grammer is an expendable. I'm not sure why Frazier is an expendable, but and got The Mechanic, which has Donald Sutherland as well. One of my favorite scenes from a Statham movie is in The Mechanic. It's actually in the first few minutes. He's killing a bad guy, and he dresses in all black or something, and he gets in the guy's pool, which is an indoor pool, and he sinks to the bottom, and he basically lays on the bottom of the pool, and he blends in with the bottom, and the guy goes for a swim, and he's doing laps, and Statham kind of spears him from below. But fantastic kill, in my opinion. All right. These ones are also from the $5.99 dump bin. These are mainly just sort of 80s and must-haves, in my opinion, for my library, but I've always been a huge fan of Castaway. This, and believe it or not, Titanic, are kind of my, Sunday afternoon. I don't have anything to do. I might take a nap. I'm going to lay on the couch, and I'm going to put on Titanic, or I'm going to put on Castaway. I loved Castaway since it's come out. Obviously, I have to have it on Blu Ray, so here it is. Nothing really going on with this as far as special features, but still, Castaway, $5.99. A couple of 80s must-haves as far as I'm concerned. We've got the classic Revenge of the Nerds, must-have. We've got another Tom Hanks, a little bit different than Castaway. This is Big. Everybody knows what Big is. In my 80s collection, this is a must-have. And of course, another must-have is Weekend at Bernie's, which features another one of my favorite movie lines. Andrew McCarthy and Silverman are sitting on top of a roof, an apartment rooftop in New York or wherever they are, and they're going over some numbers. And anyway, Andrew McCarthy calls Jonathan Silverman a stupid piece of rat shit, and I still laugh for hours after I see that. Weekend at Bernie's, and then not an 80s hit, but a must. One of my, I don't know, I've always really dug this movie. Little Ice Cube, little Cuba Gooding Jr., little Lawrence Fishburne, Boys in the Hood. Good movie. I enjoy it. I like Ice Cube. And he's got really sort of long, drippy, soul glowy hair in this movie, so can't go wrong there. Okay. These are from Savers. Savers got my first ever Blu-ray from Savers. Fight Club in good condition. Disc is fine for a thrift store. It was $2.99. Gonna get that every time. I've never seen a Blu-ray at a Savers before until now. Fight Club, great film. And something that I'm actually pretty excited to find. I used to see these everywhere when I was before I was collecting TV shows on DVD. I used to see this set everywhere, and I had before I was officially collecting, I was fine with, bootleg copies in sleeves and binders and things like that. I was fine with that, but now that's out of the question for me. And I always used to see this series, and it didn't matter because I'd already had it. And now that I want it in, the official release, I can't find it in thrift stores. I don't want to buy it at FYE. I'm not buying it at Best Buy. I'm not buying it off eBay unless I can get it for $5. But I found this for $3.99 at Savers, and it is season 3. I have season 1 and 2. This is season 3 of one of my favorite shows of all time, season 3 of The Sopranos. What happens in season 3? This is when Steve Buscemi joins the cast as Tony's cousin Tony, and good stuff. I can't remember what else happens in this series, but this is the Steve Buscemi season. So Sopranos season 3, $3.99 at Savers. Finally, this little lot came from FYE, which is the first time for me that I've gone there for Blu-rays, and I think I did okay. These were all less than $9.99 a piece. I picked up, completed my little Boondock Saints collection with all 2 in my collection. Got Boondock Saints Part 1. Really fun action Irish themed movie with a little Daryl Dixon in there before he was kind of just a little baby face in here. Boondock Saints, another Statham, capped off my Transporter 1, 2, and 3 collection with Transporter 1. To go with my 28 days later, I have now 28 weeks later. Now this was $9.99, and I know that at Halloween, Best Buy had 28 days and 28 weeks later on in a 2-pack for $9.99. I passed on it. Probably should have got it, but now I have 28 weeks later for $9.99. I love the Final Destination movies. I always have. I really like the over the top, the sort of like the main accident that happens, whether it be the roller coaster ride crashing or the NASCAR, disaster at the racetrack, or plane crash, bridge collapses in one of them. I really love how those are done, and I really love the over the top, tragedies that happen in those initial first accidents that kind of pave the way for the rest of the movie. Obviously, all 6 of the films are pretty much the same premise. A group of folks avoid death as a result of a premonition, and then death comes looking after them, picking them off one by one. until there's one survivor who, you know, doesn't end up surviving at the end. So I got the first Final Destination. These are all from FYE, and these are all like $3.99 a piece. Final Destination 1. I have Final Destination 2. This is the bridge collapse freeway accident version. And Final Destination 3, which is actually my favorite because it's a roller coaster disaster. And that one kind of like hits home the most because I hate roller coasters. And I'm always afraid they're going to crash and I'm going to die. Pretty cool cover. I don't know if you can see, but some of the faces on the roller coaster are kind of deathly skeleton faces. That's pretty neat. So Final Destination 3, the only one I need now is 4, and I've got a little complete run of Final Destination. Happy about this. Was able to get this for $9.99. It's Friday the 13th Part 5 and 6. These are not, this little 2-pack is not the expensive ones. 3 and 4 is not expensive either. I have that. I don't have that, but it's not expensive. It's like $14.99 on eBay. 7 and 8 is expensive, and there's another one with Jason X, and that's expensive too. So the 2-packs, if I want to complete these, are going to probably cost me over $100, which I find it so insane that, you know, call it out of print or whatever you want to call it, but we're talking about movies that can be seen on multiple different platforms. You know, it's sitting right next to, you know, the $79 Part 7 and 8 is sitting right next to Part 7 on a DVD and Part 8 on a DVD, which are going for like $2.99 a piece. You know, granted, it's Blu Ray and it's, you know, it's as high definition as you can get, but how on earth is it justified that you know, these two movies, again, available everywhere on the planet, you put them on 2 Blu-rays, you put them in the same packaging, and you send them, and they become a $79 item? It blows my mind. I'm holding out until I find them at a garage sale or a flea market, or somebody tosses them in a, you know, throws them over to a pawn shop. Pawn shops are definitely not going to be checking to see if it's a $80 DVD or Blu-ray, so I'm going to be holding out to grab those two. I'm not buying them for $80 guaranteed. Final pickup is okay. You know, it's one of my favorite holiday movies as well. I love Hugh Grant. I always have. I think he's great. Keira Knightley. I mean, top 5 most beautiful women in the world. Keira Knightley. And really a great all-star cast. Really fun, not an anthology, but you know, movie that follows the lives of, you know, 8 different couples or 8 different people, and, you know, living, you know, having separate adventures, and some of them coming together at the end, but really just fun little movie, great little Christmas movie. This actually comes with a Love Actually Christmas ornament. Yes, which I'll probably display proudly on my Christmas tree this year. Okay, that's it for me. That's it for DVDs or Blu-rays. I told you that I was going to be trying to grab some horror pops as I found them. And I have found a couple. It's not very easy to find horror pops anymore. It's kind of flooded with, you know, other genres. Star Wars and something called Night at Freddy's. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, I was able to find 2 more horror pops. One is Pinhead from Hellraiser. I think this is Hellraiser 3. It said on the box, but I will proudly add him to my horror pops collection. And just today, I was able to grab Michael Myers, which I did not expect to find. So I have Michael Myers from Halloween here to add to my horror pop collection. So that gives me Battle Damaged Chucky, Michael Myers, and Pinhead. I'm still looking for Freddy Krueger and Jason, obviously. And once I get a few more of those, I'm pretty much going to call it quit on Pops. I could get sucked in. I'm not going to. I'm just going to stick with the genre that I was interested in. So, but that reminds me, I have something for anybody who wants it. I don't know where it is. I have, oh, here it is. I bought one of those mystery horror pops, just for peer pressure. All you YouTube people were making, were making videos, and I bought one, and I ended up with Elvira. And I don't want her. I don't really care about her. So if there are any, little mini pop figure collectors out there, and for some reason you don't have Elvira, and she was the most common one, but if you don't have her and you want her, she's fresh out of the package, I will ship her off to you free of charge, of course. Just let me know. Leave me a comment if you want an Elvira. I'll give it to you. Also, go back a couple of videos and check out the VHS tapes that I have available. They're all horror. Really nothing spectacular. Pretty much just common, 80s horror, some 90s on VHS that I just want to give away. And I haven't had any takers yet. So drop me a line, hit me with a private message, let me know your contact information, and I will ship out some VHS tapes to you. It's around my 4th or 5th video that I made that I pretty much went through the whole catalog and told you what I had available. So if you want a horror VHS or 10 of them or whatever, let me know. If you have something to trade, great. If you don't, I don't care. Just drop me a line. So thanks for sitting through this. Leave me a comment if you enjoyed what you saw. Come back in a few days, and we're going to continue with the wrestling figure collection and whatever else I can think of to put out here for you. Again, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing. I'm having fun doing this, and I will see you all again next time. Take care.